Alright, John. It's Sunday. Time for project video number 2. Project number 2. Project number 2. Number 2. Number 2. That's it! Number 2! Let's make a Squatty Potty. Oh, I think that name might be copywritten. Let's make a bathroom buddy. Bathroom pal? Restroom friend. I'll work on it. I don't think I have much wood though. Maybe I've got some scrap wood? That's it. That's it! I'll do number 2 out of scrap wood. To start this project, I went digging through all of my scrap wood to see what I had available to make this. I pretty much just have a lot of scrap plywood that I think will work really well. I think most of it is birch plywood. I need a bigger piece like this for the top, and then probably a skinnier piece like this one here to make the legs. I measured out the top first. I made the top 20 inches by 11 inches. Now this is going to be cut to 7 inches tall, so the final product will be 7 3/4 of an inch off the ground. And they're going to be cut to 11 inches wide to match the length of the top when we put it all together. So now we can test fit these together and just make sure that they're flush. That looks pretty good, but this is kind of a boring design. And nobody wants to walk into somebody's bathroom and not see something really fancy, right? So we're gonna cut this back a little bit, probably give some curved ends here. Of course, we still need to make the curve for the bowl itself. And we're gonna try and see if we can't make it a little fancier than just a wood box. So if you're looking at my marks here, the first mark was set at 2 inches. The second mark was set at 3 inches at 3/4 of an inch down. Then I just connect the dots and connect the dots again on the other side. And that should give me a nice reveal for the top piece. I'll probably do the same for the bottom. So this will wind up being my template for the other side as well. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out on my bandsaw, but if you don't have a bandsaw, you could use a jigsaw as well. I'm gonna cut it just a little bit proud of this line and then maybe come back and sand it up or do something to kind of finish that off. All right, next step is sanding. Now, I want to make a crossbeam that's going to go across the front, but I want these legs inset about 1/2 inch from both sides. So what that means is this crossbeam that goes across the front is going to be 1 inch shorter than the total distance of the top. So that means we're going to make that 19 inches. And I'm probably going to cut it to about 2 inches tall. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think 2 inches tall should be about right. And we'll cut a little groove into it to make it kind of decorative as well. We've got our legs, and we've got our brace. Uh-oh. That doesn't look like it's gonna fit, does it? You know what? I made a mistake. I did not account for the 3/4 inch plywood I'm using on either side. So I actually need to cut another 1.5 inches off of this. So rather than 19 inches, this should be 17 and a half. I'm gonna need to go back and trim that off. Things like this always happen occasionally when you're working quickly. You forget little bits like this. So, good idea to measure twice, right? All right. So to set up the cutting template for my centerpiece, all I did was take 2 pieces of printer paper, tape it together, and cut out the same size box that I need for my centerpiece. Then I folded it in half and cut out the type of template I wanted. And when I unfold it, I have 2 perfectly symmetrical sides. Oops. 2 perfectly symmetrical sides for my center bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the board and go back to my bandsaw to cut out this template on the board. Now the next step is trying to figure out how to draw the cutout for the bowl. I took a pad of paper, you could see a kind of crummy sketch drawing of what I was going to put together, and I held the pad of paper underneath the bowl and tried to trace just with my hand what that shape kind of looked like, at least towards the front. And I figured I could put that on here and then kind of draw it out, the rest of it out with my hand. Now you don't have to do this next step, but I'm going to round over all the edges except for the edges that attach to the actual top, just to give it a nicer feel, or a nicer look, I guess. If you're doing this at home, you don't have a router, this is completely unnecessary. It's really just for aesthetics. Now I'm going to be joining all of these pieces together with pocket holes and wood glue. If you're not familiar with pocket holes, it's basically drilling a really shallow hole into a board and then using a screw to affix 2 boards together. I decided to finish with a simple mineral oil and a wipe-on poly. I did 2 coats of each. Hey, thanks for watching. Now if you don't mind, I'm going to celebrate my second video in style. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, I've got a couple more down below that you can click on. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll be posting up new videos all the time, some of which might be vlogs, most of which are going to be project videos. So if you subscribe, you'll get more content just like this. Thanks so much for watching.